Um, well, since Angie's stepped out for a second, we can just kind of go over this question from our Instagram story, which was, why did you get into fitness and, well, specifically you guys into kinesiology? Why did you choose that program and like what inspired you?
So personally, with kinesiology, I was always kind of like a sporty guy growing up. So it always interests me like how the body kind of works and how like doing this will influence how your body reacts to it. So I always was kind of like interested in how the things I was doing worked rather than like just doing them. Like I was like, how can I do it like scientifically rather than just doing it because I know it works. You know what I mean? So it's kind of yeah, that's kind of why I got into it, and it's kind of if kin is also like good with like like sports. So like if you they always relate almost every situation scientifically to sports or to like workplace. So like let's say you're lifting things at work, they're like how can we improve how we do this so that there's not as much stress on the body, or how can we help the people that are having stress on the body and stuff like that. So it's always good to like as a kinesiology student, they always look at like every aspect of every situation. And yeah, that's how I got into it personally. I don't know about Megan, but I'll hand it over to her.
Yeah, so for me, my mindset is similar in the way that I was always curious. My mind more went to, well, why does that work, or how does like how does your body do that, or kind of like those questions of why and how compared to just, oh, that's just how it works, which sparked my mindset towards kinesiology. Well, like I said, like played lots of sports. Well, in high school, I always found like that's kind of, you always have to kind of know what you want to do going into grade 12 as you're starting to apply most of the time for different universities. And throughout high school, I was like, okay, well, I don't love like math and calculus and like all that stuff. Like that was not my forte at all. And then looking at other schools to apply for, I was like, okay, well, I don't love chemistry and I don't do physics. And so kind of then it kind of narrowed down the sciences, but I knew that I wanted to do something with the human body, which is then grade 12, I took kinesiology. I'm not sure if every high school offers it, but my school did. And I absolutely fell in love with it. Just the general basics of kinesiology is what kind of caught my eye for it. And I was like, yeah, like I definitely want to do something in this stream. And so for me personally, since being active is such like a huge part of my life, I've kind of decided to go into the stream of teaching, take kinesiology, and get a degree to be able to teach phys ed. And then I'm also minoring in bio right now, so I can teach both biology and phys ed. So with that, with kin, it opens up so many opportunities. But for me specifically, I'm going into teaching to kind of continue that aspect of like learning and helping others learn, because that's something that's like super important to me. I love taking what I know and teaching others. And then I can also continue that physical fitness aspect every day, basically. And so, yeah, for me, that was kind of what drew draw drew my eye, I guess, to kinesiology. And yeah.
Just to add, like if you're thinking about like going into kinesiology, it's always good. Like kinesiology is a really broad kind of program that you can branch off into like almost anything. Like you can go to med school if you want, you become physiotherapist, chiropractor, you can be a teacher, you can become a certified personal trainer, you become a certified kinesiologist. Like there's so many things you can do with it. But the same thing that they all have in common is like helping people. So if you become a physiotherapist, you're gonna help people improve their injuries. If you're becoming a teacher, you're gonna help people further their education. But it's just kinesiology is really good with helping others rather than like helping yourself. Well, it helps yourself, but it's good when like in the aspect of like helping other people and just in like many different aspects of helping other people. That's how I look at it.
Thank you for sharing with us. Angie, if you want to just talk about why you went into the career path that you did. and just like what inspired you.
Sure. So my story is going to be completely different. As I'm sitting here, I was just thinking about last fall, I was invited to kind of like a women's networking dinner, and everybody that was there, was probably about 10 or 12 women in various, like one was a physician, one was a board of trade president, and just, yeah, from all over the place. And I think the one common theme that came out of that networking dinner was that everybody that was there, with the exception of one person, had a career path that kind of went like this. And that's, and I think that's important too to, so Megan and Ryan are saying, here's what I have done in the past, and that led me to kinesiology, that's going to lead me to here. They'll probably still have that meandering path as they go throughout their careers as well. So my career, when I first started, it wasn't in fitness. When I went to the University of Western Ontario, as it was called then, and I took sociology, and I loved my courses. I loved it absolutely. And then from there, went to college and got my diploma in child and youth counseling. And from there, worked from the Durham District School Board for 13 years, helping students with disabilities in the classroom, outside the classroom, in various ways. But always was involved with fitness, so being a gym member. So I got to a point where a girlfriend and I took a group fitness certification that led to teaching classes, and then people in my class said, hey, do you do personal training? And I said, no, I don't. But then I got a certification, and then after that, I went and took more courses and ended up getting my CSEP CPT, like certified personal trainer, as Ryan said. And then, yeah, when I came to the college, even Durham College, I was working with students with disabilities at that time, and I was running over to the Flex, which is the first year that it was open, was 2007, and running over there to either meet a client or to do some personal training or teaching a group fitness class. And then when the fitness coordinator from the Flex was leaving, they asked if I was going to apply, and I said, no, I'm really happy with where I am, but I'll help you out if you want while you're looking for somebody, because the position that I was in was only a 10-month position, so I didn't work over the summer. So I got to the Flex in the summer of 2010, and I just loved it. I think my perception of what the job was is just that you kind of babysat the Flex, and I couldn't be creative, I couldn't do things, and I just know I needed for it to be more than that. So I ended up talking to the director and saying, this is kind of, if I was to take on this job or apply for this job, kind of, I would need it to be, here's kind of what I see. And he said, I would love if somebody would do that. That would be awesome. So I ended up applying and got the job, and I've been there, since 2010. So again, not at all, if you had asked me when I was graduating university what I was going to do, I was absolutely going to work with children with special needs, and that's what I was going to do my whole life. That was kind of my plan. So definitely, I don't think ever working full-time in fitness was on my radar, because things were also very different back then. I always say to my students in my couple of gen ed classes at DC, back then too, there weren't gyms on every corner like they are right now. Good Life wasn't a thing. There might have been the odd Y, and there could have been some Gold's gyms, but not the same for sure. It's just that the industry has tons of, now you have boutique shops, you have your big corporate gyms, you have gyms, if you work in a big building, there's a gym there. Or in a condo building, there's gyms there. So all kinds of corporate fitness opportunities. It just wasn't the same industry that it was when I was in school. So I just think it was never on my radar. But I think my background in kind of the counseling piece has been really helpful. The background in sociology to learn about how people are and how they are in groups and what they need, and that kind of stuff has been really helpful to me in the role as the fitness coordinator. But would I have put those two things together before? Absolutely not. I just didn't see, and again, I think sometimes because my degree isn't in kinesiology, I sometimes think, well, am I the best person for this job? But I love my job. I love the variety. I think I give it my all. I can be creative. It's allows me to have contact with students, with staff, with faculty, with community members of all ages, from first year students right through to retirees. So I think it brings a lot, definitely a lot of joy to me, and a lot of satisfaction in my job for sure. But yeah, again, coming back to kind of full circle, was it something that I had planned from the get-go? Absolutely not. So it'll be interesting to kind of follow Megan and Ryan over there, next little while, and be interesting to see where they are in 10 years and 20 years. And for all of you, actually, for all of us, because, you know, where will we be? It's probably not exactly where we mapped it out to be. And just to remind people, kind of like going back to what I'd said initially, which is fine. You know, your plan will be what your plan is, and you'll make decisions based on what it is that you feel like you want and you need and what's going to serve your life the best at that time. And don't be afraid if it's not a linear progression from this job to this job to this job. You might be, you know, kind of here and there, and hopefully landing most times somewhere that you really want to be.